Nothing left on a desk now in caseloads. I miss my opportunity, there goes the opening. Arms reach and slip to loss of dopamine. I lose hope more than any other focus grip. This old road I'm at liberty to trudge, so it's the same old soul. Same old goals.
Well, it looks like we are getting underway with the first of our pro ladies. She looks reared and ready to attack this course. Kailey Skelton, the RE Factory Bikes rider, out of San Marcos, California, comes from a big motocross background and took to the downhill bike like a duck to water. Whoa! Nose bonk on the double, but still nice and smooth through that whoop section. This very well could be the time to beat for our ladies field, but it will be the time to beat for our next racer on course.
Yeah, this is an 8-rider pro women field with Maylei Leaneagh qualifying in that #1 spot. She will be last down the hill. Certainly be interesting starting out with Kailey Skelton.
It'll be really interesting to watch some of the line choice, especially in this pro women's field. It was pretty similar line choices for most of the men at the pointy end of the field. The women's field, a lot more variety in terms of riders' skill sets, riders' strength, riders' weaknesses. And so the line choices that we see from each of these pro women is going to be really interesting, with Kailey being typically one of our last riders to drop, opening things up.
She found a hole there off of that rock drop that definitely sucked some speed up.
And that's right before an uphill section, so that speed is doubly important. Having to carry momentum up and over that roller coaster rise, as we're calling it. Kailey gets the nose tap line on that very sketchy, loose off-camber rock face. Now into the crux off-camber bit, leading into sector 3. Now here's the rut that never was. Kailey makes short work of it, bending that RE bike around the outside corner.
Yeah, no problem there.
A little bit of stall up on momentum, maybe out of that corner, but hard on the gas here going into the last 2 S-turns. So once again, she's the first rider in our pro women's field, so she's going to be setting all of our split times, top to bottom. She's on the gas now, 2:14 on the clock. This looks like an absolutely stellar run from Kailey Skelton, 2:17.74. Now we'll see how that gauges up against the rest of our pro women's field, as Kailey did not do her seeding run yesterday.
Yeah, guys, and looking at Kailey's bike right here, it has a front flat as well. So putting down a heck of a time with a front flat. Unsure exactly where it went, but might spice things up a little bit for the rest of the field.
Definitely going to keep things spicy as we look to the top. Your second place finisher from round #1 in Angel Fire, New Mexico. The rider out of Vail, Colorado, doing it for DVO and Propane Bikes. Celia Ferguson now on course. She gets the road gap clean here in the finals. I know she was struggling with that in practice quite a lot to keep speed out of those whoops. But now, hard on the pedals up the hill for Ferguson.
Yeah, Celia citing some respectable results from Crankworks Whistler over the years, as well as the 2022 Cat 1 National Downhill Championship and top 10s in Pro Enduros. So she's going to be coming out swinging here, but a little bit behind at split #1, 3.3 back.
Well, we knew with the rider of the accolade of Kailey Skelton dropping in first that we were probably going to see quite a few splits in the red for our first few riders, and maybe not sell the pointy end of things, but that front flat that Kailey has maybe throws a bit of a monkey wrench into this final result sheet. She still ran an absolutely smoking fast time with a 2:17. So Celia making her way through the roller coaster section, now into the double drop. Makes it through nice and smooth. Takes the inside line. Let's see if she follows it all the way to the outside. So Celia's qualifying time just under 3 minutes. So probably some issues for her on track, as she's only about 10 seconds off the pace of Kailey Skelton right now in her final run. Gets through that last technical rock garden, now in to our Sector 3 timing split. Oh, and as we say, it just stops the bike right before breaking the timing beam. Doesn't even make it into the rut that never was.
So much time spent getting unclipped to be able to even just get out from underneath the bike right there, too.
And that took her from 10 seconds in the red to nearly 30 seconds in the red. Still on pace to beat her qualifying time, but probably not the finals run that she would have hoped for after a podium at round number 1 back in Angel Fire. Celia Ferguson digging deep right now after that little tip over. She's going to break the beam. Is it going to be faster than her seating run? Yes, goes 250.82 with a crash. Not the run I'm sure she was hoping for, but happy to make it away clean and safe. As we go back to the top, Meghan McDonough gets the jump into the triple, gets a little bit of a hang up, and then runs a little bit wide coming out of those whoops, but gets the road gap nice and clean. Hard on the pedals going into that uphill sector.
Meghan McDonough looking to improve on that 245 she had in seating.
Currently only about 2.2 seconds off of the pace of Kailey Skelton at split number 1, so still within touch as we start things off, making her way through the dirt slide, choosing that middle to inside line, and keeping good pace around the road crossing, grabs a couple pedals even, going into this flat sector, leading into our roller coaster zone.
I mean, this is really impressive when you consider that the current fastest time right here is like 30 seconds faster than Megan's seating time. The fact that she's only 2.2 out right now is very impressive.
Yeah, and not going too far into the red further, now only 8 seconds, so even a little bit quicker than Celia's split number 2 before the crash. So Meghan McDonough on a good pace right now to not only improve on her qualifying time, but set a pace that could be on pace for a podium. McDonough makes her way around that super tough double drop section and through the technical rock garden. She's got one very off camber, fading away left, going into the off camber ski run crossing. And then we're going to see the split number 3 time tick by as she makes her way never was. Gets through it nice and smooth, keeps the feet on. Still going the wrong way in terms of time, but keeping it under that 30-second mark that we saw from her seating time. She needs to get on the gas, really connect these last 2 sectors. See if she can hang on to maybe a podium position here after our 8-rider field has completed. So Meghan McDonough out of the final corner. She needs to dig deep, stay on the gas. She wants to challenge and stay on the podium after all 8 of our ladies have finished. She will go into second, beats her qualifying time, 239.38. 239.38, still 21 seconds off of the pace set by Kailey Skelton.
Still about 6 seconds faster than her seating, though, so great personal goal accomplished there, smashing a faster finals run. Adia Annibella out of Arvada, Colorado on course now. Cleanly placing those wheels into the backside of the double on that triple. Smooth through the whoops.
Adia was part of that musical wheel problem from seating yesterday with another Colorado racer, Aiden Rowell. So great to see her out here on a final run on her own bike, getting plenty of practice for finals. 3 seconds off there at split number 1 here. Adia Annibella needs to start to open things up if she wants to stay in front of Meghan McDonough. Hold on to grab that second spot on the podium right now. Adia still within touch, though. 7.5 off at split number 2, so she's actually pulled back some time compared to Meghan McDonough. Meghan was 8 seconds back at split number 2 off of Kailey, and only 2.2 at split number 1. So Adia finding some pace here in the middle of the course. Keeping that pivot downhill bike pointed the correct way. Letting those big 29-inch wheels eat. Oh, gets a little bit stalled. Good save, but a little bit stalled up next to our friendly aspen tree. Adia making her way across that off-camber into split. Let's see, split number 3. Let's see if she's been able to keep pace or has fallen further into the red. She has fallen further into the red, but is on pace to hold down a second-place position. Only 13 seconds now off of that time of Kailey Skelton. So Adia really needs to dig deep in these bottom corners to try and hold off that 239.3 of Meghan McDonough, currently sitting in the silver medal spot. One more corner to go for Adia. Now it's time to dig deep on those pedals. Adia needs to put down some horsepower if she wants to challenge for a podium. 233.2 into second. Cutting into that margin of McDonough, by almost 7 seconds.
The next rider warming up in the gate here, Olivia Silva. We've been seeing her at all types of different events over the last many years. She's 18 years old now. This is the first event I've seen her at where I haven't actually bumped into her dad. And I'm wondering, you know what? She's got her driver's license. She's 18 and she's just driving herself to these races. We could be there now.
We could be, but we're not. JP's hiding over in the corner.
He's not D, all right.
Yeah. He just doesn't have a camera in his hand this weekend. That's why you didn't recognize him.
Great to see Olivia out here on the downhill bike. We were talking about her in seating yesterday. The fact that she's been competing in so many free ride events. She's competing at Hard MTB League and a lot of stuff that, you know, requires her to set up a free ride bike, really stiff suspension and smaller wheels. So she's out here on the full big bike, soft suspension, full race setup, and she says she's really enjoying it.
Yeah, great to see such a young rider becoming so well-rounded in her career. You know, a lot of riders pick a type of riding that they enjoy and just stick with it. If you're going to be a jumper, you're going to be a jumper. If you're going to be a racer, you're going to be a racer. If you're going to be a free rider or a slope rider, you're going to be a slope rider.
Sold to the man in the red shirt.
Olivia's deciding, you know what? I just like riding bikes, so let's find a bike and let's go do it. She was at Hard MTB League a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of like, well, what kind of events are there this weekend? Okay, cool. Let me grab the right bike for that, and I'll do it. Tons of time spent at Snow Summit Bike Park, honing her skills, whether that be trying to find the fast race lines or trying to boost the jumps. Ooh, washing front tire on a route right there, but dropping a foot and correcting. Yeah, on pace to slot into second right now if she's able to hold things together.
So the young rider out of Southern California, the high desert of Southern California even, essentially calls Big Bear her home, Snow Summit her home mountain. We'll be seeing most of these riders, we hope, there in just about a month's time for U.S. National Championships. So we hope to see all of you here at the Mountain Stage Cup coming out and joining us for that at the end of July.
Ooh, Olivia still on pace for a second spot here.
Look at that. Yeah, only 12.2 off. We saw Adia 13 and change off at that second to last split. So here comes Olivia Silva. Can she challenge for that next spot on the podium? She needs to beat a 33. She does.
Nice.
Olivia Silva, 232.57. So time's ticking down now as we are halfway through our elite women's field. Next rider on course is a young rider originally out of Las Vegas, California, or Las Vegas, Nevada. Might as well be California. Teagan Heap. She took most of last season off, her final year in junior with a knee injury. You can see that brace on the left leg. She actually, her and her pops made the move out to Tennessee to be right next to Windrock Bike Park. Got a place out there so Teagan could do more training and really focus on her downhill career. Unfortunately, soon after that, she got that knee injury and spent most of the season recovering. So this is her first full race back and her first race as an elite women racer out here, doing it on that intense bike program out of Southern California.
Yeah, she seems to really have that mental strength. You know, it's tough going from injury to injury, trying to recover and be right back where you left off. Sometimes it takes some patience and you got to let yourself build a strong foundation. But man, she's in touch right now. Just a half second back from the top time. Dropping back a little bit more at 3 seconds at split 2.
So this sector 3, as we see these riders making their way into it through that roller coaster section, that seems to be where Kailey was able to make up the most amount of time. It'll be interesting to hear once this race is over where Kailey thinks she got that front flat tire, because it seems like her sector 3 was where she really opened up the gap and then just kind of maintained through the rest of her run.
Yeah, and I mean a front flat. That is, oh no.
Speaking of front flat, Teagan Heap goes down in a heap on that front wheel, just asking a little bit too much out of that front tire in this loose and dusty.
And you know what? Loosey sounds accurate. Yeah, Teagan, aside from that knee injury we were talking about, it sounds like more recently she had a rolled ankle, and that's why she wasn't racing out at Angel Fire, if I remember that correctly. And so, you know, big goal right now is just, getting through this weekend in one piece, safe, and building some confidence. Unfortunately, that front tire washout is not going to lead to the dream run she woke up hoping for today. But we got to think big picture here.
Still only 18 seconds off the pace, so she's able to pull some big pedal strokes at the end. She could find herself in the top 4. So Teagan Heap now pushing that big gear on the intense M1 over the last feature. Even with the tip over, she will go into 4th. 239.15.
Yeah, luckily that crash appeared to be more annoying than painful, but still so frustrating.
Well, just 2 riders left at the top, Cam. Who do we have loading in the gate?
Sara Ligman loading up in the gate out of Huntington Beach, California. The 18-year-old seated with a 229. Her home mountains she cites as Laguna Beach and Big Bear. She also loves to go dirt jumping at Sheep Hills, as well as she loves to ride all the shuttle trails in SoCal. She played volleyball for 4 years in high school. Every single year she was out there playing volleyball and balancing that with her passion for bike racing. 2024, she was the 17-18 Cat 1 overall champ. Overall champ last year as well, 17-18 Cat 1. So she's moved up now to the big leagues. Pro women field now, qualifying 2nd in yesterday's seeding. So big opportunity here, but she definitely needs to shave off a lot of time from her seeding if she's going to threaten that hot seat spot. But, you know, her seeding time would put her into 2nd place right now. So looking for some consistency out here. Sara Ligman on course.
Yeah, you said it, Cam. Her seating time of a 2:29 is good enough for 2nd place right now by a solid margin, almost 2.5 seconds. So she can just repeat that type of performance on a much, much more damaged and deteriorated track, which is no easy feat, mind you. Sara Ligman could be on pace for a podium, if not, maybe a challenge for a win. We saw some of our elite men take more than 10% of time out of their run. So it is within the realm of possibility for Sara Ligman to get under a 2:20-minute time.
There he goes, sets up wide at the beginning, dives to the inside at the end of the dirt chute, the dirt slide as we've been calling it. 1.3 back at split number 1.
So a little bit further back than we've seen the last few of our pro ladies at split 1. Let's see, as we mentioned, that split 2 and 3 has been the real crux section in this pro women's field. Now 3.5 back here for Sara Ligman. So this in her first year as an elite female racer. Still trying to figure things out here before seeding and finals. It is something that takes a while to learn, like kind of grow into, Cam, going from an amateur racer where you really have one run to try and make it work for the whole weekend to with the pro ranks where you have a seeding run or a qualifying run. And it kind of gives you not only a idea of where you rank in terms of the field, but it kind of tells you what your pace is going to be for the finals the next run.
Sorry to cut in there. Another reason why it's so cool that on the Mountain States Cups, we have seating for all Cat 1 categories. It's just a simulator for what pro racing is actually going to be like.
Yeah, it is. It is going to be the Stepper series and the Stepper race events for all of our aspiring pros and World Cup racers. The ones that want to race international, you got to own your backyard before you can start traveling. That's exactly what we're seeing right here with Sara Ligman. Only 7 seconds down at split number 3, so the tightest margin we've seen out of the final quarter. Sara Ligman found something special between split 2 and 3. It looks like this is going to be easily spot into second. And it is Sara Ligman. What a great run there. 2:25, only 7 seconds off of a pace that we did not expect anyone to get close to based on seeding run times.
Tightens things up in the top 3 a bit with one rider left to drop.
So Sara Ligman able to take 4 seconds plus out of her seeding run there. So we know it is possible for these elite women to go faster on this much worse track, but there's one rider left at the top who can do so. Your Angel Fire winner and leader of this 2026 Mountain States Cup, the ZFR Racing Sun Tour rider from right down the road in Colorado, Maylei Leaneagh on course. Nice and clean over the double. Super clean over the whoops there, Cam. Not even falling into them.
Yeah, real brief touch in the middle of the whoop section. A real delicate way of kind of bouncing right out there and catching transition at the exit.
Pushing a big hard gear across the flat there so she can carry that momentum up the hill. So some veteran moves right now from Maylei Leaneagh. Horsepower that she needs. I know she was feeling a little bit under the weather after a big crash here in practice. But looks very tidy around that inside line, exiting the dirt slide. See what the time looks like coming into split 2 here any second, Cam.
What is it going to be here? At split 1, she was good enough for 4th. And here she's in position to slot into 2nd if she's able to stay consistent here. So doing what she needs to do. You know, her seating time was a 2:29, and that's a lot to carve off considering our top time right now is a 2:17. But sitting cozy right now for 2nd position if she can stay consistent.
Oh, pushing a big gear out of that right-hand corner going into the rock garden. That means she wants the exit speed through the rocks, keeping that bike floating above the holes rather than falling into them. She's doing just that right now. Gets nice and clean out into the off-camber. Just 2 more sectors to go here at this Mountain States Cup round number 2. Solitude, Utah, through the rut that never was. Tidy through the rock roll. 5 seconds back now at split number 2. So this could be a time to challenge Sara Ligman. Sara was 7 seconds off of the lead when she got to the line. Maylei Leaneagh has 1 more corner to go if she wants to challenge for a podium here at Mountain States Cup round number 2. The Trek rider is around the final corner, the number 1 plate on her bike, digging deep. She's going past the winning time. Is it going to be enough for 2nd? It's going to be close. Maylei Leaneagh into this silver medal spot. 2:22.8, Maylei Leaneagh into the silver. Your winner, once again, Ari Bikes ride. Kailey Skelton taking home the top spot. Ari Bikes sweeping the pro field here at Mountain State Cup round number 2. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for sticking around. That is going to wrap up all of our racers here. But before we go anywhere, we're going to send it down to Dylan Lamar in the finish corral to hear from our winner. Anybody else you can grab an interview with here at the final.